We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! Thumbs up. How does it get any better than this? Okay, so moment. We've got 0 people on right now. That's it, 0 people.
That is so good. That's exactly the people we wanted to talk
know.
to. Like, hello. And yeah, and bonjour and ciao.
Bonjour, ciao. So, first up, I actually wanted to mention, oh my God, exciting news. I'm in Venice. Gaïa, where are you?
I'm in Venice.
No way! You're actually
What? Where
across
are
the
you,
road.
Simone?
Ciao. You are across the road from me, and show us a quick thing. Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, has a class starting tomorrow. You want to do a little bit like we can?
Yeah, so this is the incredible room. Let me get from the entrance, and it's a bit crowded. You're going to see amazing people. So we have beautiful flowers, ta-da. And we have beautiful people. And look at this room. I mean, look, it keeps going, it keeps going. And higher and higher.
So
The
this is
beauty
what
of Venezia. And this
it's
is
an
where Gary will be.
see, and it's an absolutely beautiful room and beautiful to be here in Venice. But here's the thing I wanted to actually mention. I know that this is not what we're doing the live about, but I was just with Gary. He's been here for a couple of days, and I was just running his bars, and he said to me, he said, we are going to change the world this weekend. And I have not heard him refer to a class the way he's referring to this class that he's got coming up as this. So I don't even remember what it's called. Do you remember what it's called, Gaia? It's
Yeah. What are you unwilling to create that will change the world?
boom. What are you unwilling to create that will change the world? And this morning I met with him for breakfast, and he's got he was up like a lot of the night. And he's got about 10 new processes. So we ran them this morning, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. So I just wanted to put a shout out there, because if you're in Europe, you can still jump on a plane, I'm sure. It's only, 6 o'clock at night. I'm sure you can get a night flight to Venice or something, or early morning flight. Come, we have space in Venice. If not, jump online. There's been a lot of people I was talking to, and they said this has been pulling them, and they're sitting on the fence. My question would be are you sitting on the fence for this class because you know it's actually going to change what it is that you've been asking for, which I find so often shows up in access classes when you have that that little resistance to it. It's usually going to change everything. See, I just threw my little French in there. So
That was very good.
Matthew, I just put the link there below. But if you can just go to Access Consciousness, Google. So highly recommend it. So that was my just little pitch I wanted to do, because like I said, I've been working with Gary for over 20 years, and I have seen him like this in the 20 years, but he's just, the way he just said, we're going to change the world. It was really cool. So yeah, there you go. And then today we were doing a live. I am coming to Marseille, France. I'm coming to Marseille, France. I've never been to Marseille, actually. I know.
You will love it. There is the sea, there is the heat, there is like just the relaxed mind and having a glass of rosé on the terrace. It's very south of France style.
And of course, I'm coming there in June. So yes, it is summer. And I'm actually going to be doing a Business Done Different class there, and then followed by the Joy Business Facilitator training. So you can also join both of those classes online, but I mean, come to Marseille, France, why not? So, and Marie-Sandrini is one of the hosts as well as Gaia, and Marie-Sandrini actually lives in Marseille too.
Yes.
So that's why we thought we would do this live together.
Yes, I can just invite you to discover this amazing place and enjoy and present these amazing places.
Yes.
And you know that Marseille is the only place in the world where they have the same sign as Hollywood, like Marseille in big capitals on the hill.
There you go. Hollywood, Marseille. And I called this live, Are You Choosing Well? And it was interesting. Just before we started, we have, and thank you so much, translators, and my amazing, conglomeration of idiots, we call ourselves, Akoi, that work behind the scenes. And one of them was trying to give a description of it. And I went, trying to work it out of like, are you choosing well? So I'm going to ask you guys, it's like, are you choosing well? And what does that even mean to you?
You mean about the right choice, wrong choice, doing well, doing wrong, like that?
Exactly. Exactly.
No, never. We don't never do that.
So where this came from was, yeah, go ahead.
No, I wanted to say, I actually, when I read this question, it was like interesting because to me, there is a bit of a, how do you say, of a trick into it. Because you could, like, I was like, you could look at it at two ways. Like, there would be like the way, are you choosing well from the judgment? Like, am I choosing correctly, like good or bad? Like, am I doing the good or bad choice? And then I was like, oh, you can also listen to it by, are you choosing well, as are you choosing from the question, from the access tools, and like from what actually you are aware of, that what it will create in the world in your life. So I was like, there is like a bit like this reality and this reality of possibilities that we often talk about. And like, from which space are you choosing? Then I kind of heard that question.
I like that. Thanks, Gaia. And thank you, Marie-Sandrini, as well. So what I was looking at too is like, are you choosing well? Are you choosing what actually works for you as well? And seeing as we're looking at this with business, because we've got the Business Done Different class, which is one of my favorite classes to facilitate. And I know with a lot of these tools coming out, it's just going to be like even more of a game changer. Like access consciousness tools change everything. There is no prerequisite to coming along to the Business Done Different. And one of the things that, one of the things I've been looking at, recently is what I'm choosing. And it's like, am I choosing well? For me is like, am I choosing what truly works for me? Am I enjoying my choices? Exactly what you guys said, like not judging your choices. Are you choosing what works for you, what will create a greater possibility for you, no matter what, and no matter what it takes, and no matter what it looks like? Like, this is a very basic example. And it may or may not make sense to you, but this hotel that I'm staying at in Venice, the bed is awful. It's so hard. Like, and last night, it was so like, just like rock, you know? And throughout the night, I kept talking to my body going, I'm so sorry, body. And I was like, I'm sorry that we're here, but we're here for a few days, you know, and was like, okay, so how do we deal with this? Because every time I turned over, I was like, ow, like I've just come from the castle in Italy that we have, and the beds are just incredible. So I was like going, okay, the bed is so hard, blah, blah, blah. Then I went and had breakfast with Gary, and he said, go and talk to the hotel and ask them for something. And I went, I would never do that. Like, I would never ask them for something. And he was like, why not? He said, go and say to them. He said, oh, I'm a princess. You know what? The bed is so hard for me. You know, I need something else. Do you have like a topper? And I looked at it in the way he looked at the whole situation, and it was just a question. And I realized what I've got to in the last couple of days is, one thing is, I never want to say no to people. Like, if you are like, I never want to say, no, I can't do this, or no, it's not possible, or anything. And I also wouldn't go and ask the hotel for something like that, because I wouldn't want to inconvenience them. I wouldn't want to be a problem. I also wasn't really willing to accept the no that they may give me, that they don't have something. I know this might sound so basic, but it's been blowing me away in my world. So I went to the reception today, and I went in my broken Italian, and I was like, doodle, molto doodle, hard, the bed, and tried to describe what was going on. And they had 3 people out there like looking at me like I was a princess. And the willingness to be looked at like, oh my God, this woman again, you know. And anyway, eventually the maid came in, and she had all these towels, and she was going to put the towels underneath my sheet. And I was like, no. And I was like, no, grazie. Like, that's not going to work, you know. But then she looked at me, and in her Italian, I understood what she meant was, she picked up the doona cover and was basically saying, what if I get you another one of these and I put this underneath it? And I was like, see. So she did that, right? I have no fucking idea if that bed is going to be comfortable or not, but the whole ordeal, I sound so basic, changed my world, because I was willing to actually ask for what would be a contribution to me and my body. So for me, it's like, are you choosing well? Or are you choosing always to get the response that you think you should get, result driven, going to a conclusion, or because you don't want to inconvenience someone or you don't want to say no? So everything that is, and everywhere that you have not been choosing well, you've been choosing based on the presumptive realities of what you think is so, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. And that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. I love our little back end girl, Kat. She's like putting the links up there. So if you want to know more about that, you can go to theclearingstatement.com in the link below and find out about it, because it just seems to, presses delete from all the crap, all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that we have. So that's what I looked at with, and I love that we called this, are you choosing well? And then something like this shows up for me. It's like, are you willing to be that vulnerable with yourself in business, with your money, with your, projects, with your wealth creation, with all of it? Are you willing to be that vulnerable as a facilitator? If you would like to be a joy business facilitator, It's like, what else is possible if we start choosing well for ourselves?
And this is interesting when you talk about choosing well, and we speak about money. So money could be, sometimes you talk about body, but money could be also the thing how we don't follow what is really true for us because of money. And what I love of this class, Business Done Different, I did 2 times already. It's, yes, the money is not the purpose, is what make you joy to create more money. And this is something totally different too.
Yeah. Well, as Dane always said, it's like money follows joy. It's like joy doesn't follow money. So are you choosing what is joyful for you? Like, really, are you choosing what is joyful for you? And like, I know I just gave this example and it's so basic and it's so small. And it's also this huge change in my world. And it's like, it doesn't have to be this like massive thing that changes everything. But what if choosing well is the ability to change your point of view at any moment? Like, what if your choosing well is your ability and capacity to be so malleable in your business and with your money and with your life and with everything? It's like that willingness to let everything go, the willingness to have everything and the willingness to let everything go. So everything at that is time to go zillion, we destroy and uncreate it. All right, not good and bad. All nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. I love the laughter.
You can hear like everyone is getting lighter as we talk. But it's so funny because you say basic, right? But I was like, but if we are changing all of our basics, we are changing so much, because our basic is what we live the most with. So I'm like, this is you changing your life, your business, the world by changing the basics. So I love, because your basic example is not that basic, basically. So yeah, I mean, this is probably the things to start looking at and changing.
Well, what I look at too is, as we choose well and as we choose for ourselves, it's like, how many other people get invited to do the same thing? Like, I don't know, from the maid to the receptionist to, the guy who they seem to call for everything. Wow. Like, he comes and changes everything and fixes the ironing board or the safe or the whatever. And it's like, but how you don't have the cognitive awareness of what that is. But what if, as we choose well, and we are a part of the ecosystem, and that's one thing that we look at and we will look at in the Business Done Different class and Joy Business Facilitator training, is that we are a part of the ecosystem. We are not just watching this. We are not observing. Every single choice you make contributes to the ecosystem that we have here on the planet. So your business is not something that is separated. It is a part of how we get to choose and how we get to create our world. So what like influence and inspiration can your business be, and can you be being in business that you have not yet chosen? And what if you started to choose it today?
I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit more about the ecosystem, because actually we did attend a class with you in London about the ecosystem, and I remember it was amazing. And because like as we were going to that class with ecosystem, I was looking, so but what is it exactly, the ecosystem? I mean, I think we understand it when we talk about the nature, ecologic and all that, but like how would you use it then to the ecosystem in your life, in your business? Like, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So if you look at, I mean, pick a business for me, any business.
Access business? I don't know.
Okay, so access business is a huge ecosystem. Okay, so you've got the access business. And if you look at the access business and like, you know, it's got this like sort of core. We've got 3 companies. So we've got a company in Australia, we've got one in UK, in Dublin, and one in America. Okay, so that's 3 companies. So those 3 companies contribute to a whole bunch of people in those quote unquote regions. Now, even if you just look at the Dublin one, the Irish company, now how many classes do we hold in this in the European region? And then each class, how many people does that contribute to? Like contributes to the translators, to, you know, the hosts. It's like to the clients coming along. I mean, even the hotel that you're sitting at, Gaia. It's like the fact that we are even at Casa de Gredo, the hotel, and it's like it contributes to the hotel. But it doesn't just contribute to the hotel. If you notice, every waiter at that hotel at Casa de Gredo, they see us and they're like, oh, you guys are back. Like, and they recognize us and they know us, and we are, because we treat them well. Like, so are you choosing well? We treat them well. We don't ignore them and treat them just like, oh, can you bring me this, can you do that, or whatever. It's like, no, we acknowledge them, and as we acknowledge them, they become more of them. Now look at them going home to their friends or their family. As we acknowledge them, do they now become more of them? And then they can also reach out and be that inspiration and that, you know, that joy, as Marie-Sandrini brought up, like that joy to others around them. So you have no idea by the choice you make just how many people's lives it touches, or how much it contributes to the earth, or how much it contributes to so many other businesses. I mean, and then you've got the Australian company. It's like we've got, you know, a class with Grace Douglas in Japan right now. And it's like, you know, what is that contributing to all the Japanese there? It's a body class, advanced body class. And it's like, and then we've got the, you know, the American company. We've also got El Lugar, another company. We've also got the Castle, you know, it's another company. And it's like all those people that it contributes to. Like if you look at the Castle, you know, during COVID, when so many businesses were shutting down, we still paid our staff. We still paid our staff to come to the Castle. And I mean, admittedly, it's a big friggin' place. Like to clean that place isn't like, oh, in a day's job. So, but to keep, you know, keep the upkeep of it. And it's like, so it's all part of the ecosystem. And if you create your business based on like creating it small, this is mine, I won't let anyone in, I'm the one that needs to get all the profits, you will end up destroying your business. Like if you do not allow others to contribute and to receive from your business as well, because as people receive from your business, whether it's a product or a service or a job or, you know, an acknowledgement, whatever it is, it just grows. It's like putting the sun on it, you know, and then a little bit of water and then the sun again. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. And that's what we be.
Yeah, that's a beautiful example. Now, the vision I just had, it was like you have like either you put your business like in a square, and like so you're limited because with the form, with the structure, and then to me, business done different, and being a facilitator of the joy of business done different. It's like removing this box and then actually allowing the tree, the business, to grow to whatever it wants to. Like most of the time, even when we create, we're like, what is a class? Because if we talk about access business, it's also classes. We're always like, what is this class desiring? What form would this class desire to be? Not like, what do I want of this class to be looking like? So, and then this is where you can also receive from the class and co-contribute.
Yeah. Well, even being in question too, Gaia. I mean, I remember when we first started going to Russia, and we met with a few of the Russians who, you know, were starting Access to sort of go, okay, what are we going to do here? Like, when are we going to go and blah, blah, blah. And we were on this meeting and I realized you had a bunch of Americans and then some Australians talking to the Russians and basically telling them, oh, this is what we do. This is how we do it. And we were like, I was like, hang on a second. What if we destroyed and uncreated everything that we've decided about how Access has to be in Europe and be in Russia, right? And you can do that with your business if you're listening, any area. It's like destroy and uncreate how you be with your clients, how you be with the service, even your opening hours, all of it, destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, provids and beyonds, clearing statement again. And then I said, let's ask the Russians, like, what actually works for you? Like, what's going to work there? I mean, and then so as you ask questions, you invite them to also like grow that part of the business to expand. And Russia just like, you know, exploded with Access. So, but yes, I mean, as you mentioned before, when I asked you guys what you thought, you know, choosing well in business was, yeah, it is about being in question. It's about being in question. It's about receiving. It's about choosing, for me, what is going to create greater, but so not from these presumptive realities that, you know, came out at the beginning of this year. Like the presumptive reality I had of, I don't want to bother people at the hotel. I don't want to have them say no to me. I don't, it's so little, but it's so massive when you take that point of view into the world and you continuously choose based on that. Now, most people would not think that that's how I would choose, because if you've met me, you know, I'm direct, I'm not quiet, I'm not shy, I'm confident, all of these things. And yet I still would not have chosen something where someone might say no, or say no to someone. Like Gary's actually getting me to practice saying no. I'm like, oh my God. So, because I want to go, yeah, okay, I'll do it. Yeah, okay, yes. But it's like, is that actually creating something greater? Is that choosing well? Or is that just choosing because I've decided the presumptive reality that I have to? What if you never had to choose anything? You have infinite choice. So everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, perverts and beyonds. Don't you love doing these lives when they're just so not planned and you're like, where is this going?
Yep.
It's going over here.
Totally, because there's so much in like business done different, and I like it because now we're just going to one direction. Yeah, one and more.
So let's talk about Marseille for a second. And it's like, if people want to come to Marseille, France, I like saying it, Marseille, France. I'll see you in Marseille.
South of France.
South of France, yeah. No, actually, I have been to the south of France, and I went there, I think I was like 20, and I had no money. And I remember I went to Monaco, and then I went to Nice as well. Where's the area with all the big boats? Saint-Tropez?
Ah, Saint-Tropez, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I think it's hilarious that you went to Monaco. I think it's hilarious you went to Monaco with no money.
I did. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Well, going to Saint-Tropez with no money is also hysterical.
Yes, also. Yeah.
Exactly. Staying in this little backpack, no money, cannot afford to like get a coffee at a cafe or anything like that. And my friend and I walking the streets and like literally like just looking at everyone. I hate to think what we looked at, just T-shirt, shorts, like would have been, I had a pair of boots and a pair of flip-flops. That's all I had in my backpack. Like that's how I traveled around for a while. But watching everyone there, and I remember walking around just going, oh my God, the wealth in this area was like incredible. I'm sure it is still really incredible, but at that time in my life, I was just like, this is like a sick display of wealth, all these boats and everyone, and each boat had so many people on them, but there was this joy and happy, and that doesn't cost you anything, like to actually walk the streets and receive all of that. So I did do that. So, but now I'm going to Marseille and I actually have money. So I'm going to eat on those little cafes on the side and eat at a fancy restaurant.
Yes, so beautiful places, beach, and yes, to discover all around. And we are in the most beautiful hotel for these classes. It's a Hotel du Intercontinental. The place is just close to everything and so elegant. It's so nourishing for your body and your business because it shows you what you can, how you can bring elegance and this wealth into your world. And when you are willing to receive, how much you can also expand. Yes, you in your business and your business.
And even you can just come to Marseille and just be incredibly turned on by all the accents that you hear speaking. Just be like, oh, it sounds so good. So if you'd like to come, you've got the JCF. I think that little banner is up down there at the moment, and you've also got Business Done Different. Like I said, you can go to both of those classes online or come to Marseille, France, and have a whole lot of fun. Gaia, what else? Do you want to add anything else?
Oh, I just wanted to add that if you've never been to the south of France, but you've been somewhere in France, you're going to discover something completely new. And I'm a fan of the south of France. Like what you can receive there, it just feel like everyone is always on holidays, even though they are not. It's just like there's just something that, and you have such a mix of everyone. Like you were talking, like you have rich, but you have also less rich. But there's it's just very playful. It's very playful. You will see the south of France that you have in books, basically. It's amazing being there, and especially with the 2 classes as well. So thank you. Yeah.
Well, I love talking about business and money and projects and ecosystem business and what we can create and choose. So yeah, let's go. Let's have way too much fun.
Well, you love it and you're amazing also talking about it. It changed a lot. So that's good.
Thank you.
And
yeah.
Could we just add about the renew of license for bars facilitator too? Because we can.
Oh yeah. Good idea. Go for it, Marie-Sandrini.
This class is also for bars facilitator, a class you can choose to renew your license. So how much fun that could be for your business. And also bars facilitator can also make little intro about joy of business. So to really have ease and fun with this tool for share around and develop your own business. I don't know what else is possible.
Love it. Merci. Que d'autres est possible.
Merci. Awesome. And there's a whole lot of, we've been calling all the Joy Business Facilitators, and there's a lot of them all around the world too. So there is these classes that, like this class I'm doing in Marseille, but if you cannot make this and you are interested in Business Done Different, there are facilitators across the world. You can go to accessjoyofbusiness.com and you can find facilitators everywhere. I love that we've been calling all the current Joy Business facilitators to see, who's renewing, etc. And at the moment, I think there's like 90% of them that are choosing to renew. And I got some feedback. Some of the people who are not choosing to renew, they've found a business that they're actually creating and they're generating and they're choosing that. And I was like, that makes me smile too.
Yeah.
Wow, you're using the tools and you're having fun with that and going out and creating a successful life. Let's do it. Like whatever we can contribute to each other. So let's go. Yeah. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining me here. Translators in the back end here. In all these languages. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much to everyone involved here. And I will see you in Marseille, France.
Yes.
Au revoir.
À bientôt.